We are still working on your Unit 10 packet. This is actually page 41 in your packet. We're going to do pages 41 through 43. This one goes over trapezoids and kites. First thing it's talking about are basic terms that you'll need to know for trapezoids. And the first one is obviously trapezoids, the quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel lines, and it looks like this. And the only parallel parts are the bases, the top and the bottom. Bases are the parallel sides, so whenever you have a trapezoid, this part is a base and this part is a base, so those are the bases. The legs are the non-parallel sides, so this is a leg and this is a leg. Base angles are the angles at the bottom, or the angles at the bases, so this angle is a base angle and this angle is a base angle. We're going to work some examples that have to do specifically with trapezoids. Example 1 says find the value of x for the trapezoid. Same side interior, so since these are both on the same side right here, those are called same side interior. Remember we did this whenever we had two parallel lines, right? The top and the bottom of a trapezoid is parallel, and it is of course cut by a transversal, so they are same side interior, just like we did with parallel lines cut by a transversal. Same side interior angles are of course supplementary, meaning they add to be 180. So to work this, you have 12x plus 3 plus 13x plus 2 equals 180. Add your x's together. 12 plus 13 is 25x, plus add your numbers together. 3 plus 2 is 5 equals 180. Subtract 5 from both sides. 25x equals 175. So 25x equals 175. I just ran out of room. If you didn't, you don't actually have to rewrite this. Divide both sides by 25. And x is 7. A median is a segment that joins the midpoints of the legs of a trapezoid, and it is parallel to the bases as well. So if you have a trapezoid, of course this is parallel to this. Then you take the median, so the exact middle, so the middle of this side and the middle of this side, and you connect those middles together. And that line is also parallel to the bases. So this part right here is the median. To find the length of the median, use the following formula. So we're going to take both of the bases and add them together, and then divide by 2. So we're really just taking the average of the two bases. So to work something like this, if AB is 25 and DC is 13, what is EF? So 25 plus 13 divided by 2, which is 38 divided by 2, which is 19. If AE is 11, FB is 8, AD the entire thing, so if AE is 11, then this is also 11, so the entire thing is 22. And if BF is 8, that means that FC is 8, and all of BC is 16. AB is 29. EF is 24. What is DC? So how did I get from 29 to 24? I subtracted 5. So to get from 24 up, let's subtract 5 again, which is just 19. Next is isosceles trapezoids. These are a specific type of trapezoid. It is a trapezoid with congruent legs. In other words, they are the same size. So the top and the bottom are still parallel, but the legs are congruent. There is exactly one pair of parallel sides. So parallel and parallel. The median is equal to half the first base times the second base. So the median the legs are congruent, so this side is the same as this side. The diagonals are congruent, so this entire thing here is congruent to this entire thing here. And base angles are also congruent. So this angle here is congruent to this angle here. And then this angle here is congruent to this angle here. So those are for isosceles trapezoids. Not all trapezoids, but isosceles trapezoids. ABC is an isosceles trapezoid. Find the measure of the indicated angle. ADC, this right here, is 54. What is BCD? What is this angle here? Since they are congruent, it is of course 54. BAD, this angle right here, is 112. What is BCD? So what is that angle there? Remember that these two angles have to add to be 180 because they are parallel lines cut by a transversal, therefore they are supplementary. So what is 180 minus 112? That gives me 68. And if this angle here is 68, then so is this angle here. So it is 68. TRAP is an isosceles trapezoid. PR is 3x minus 7. PR. And TA is 20. Find the value of x. So don't forget that the diagonals are congruent. So 3x minus 7 is congruent or equal to 20. Add 7 to both sides. 3x is equal to 27. Divide both sides by 3. And x equals 9. Now we're learning about kites. Most of y'all formally know these. Most of y'all know these as diamonds, but the formal definition is actually a kite. So all the different properties. So two pairs of consecutive sides are congruent. So in other words, this side is congruent with this one, and this side here is congruent with this one. The diagonals are perpendicular, so all of these are at 90-degree angles. One pair of opposite angles are congruent, so the only pair of angles that are congruent is this angle here is congruent to this angle here. One pair of opposite angles are bisected, so that means that this angle here is actually split in two. So these two little angles are equal to each other. And then this angle here is split in two, so these angles are equal to each other. And one diagonal is bisected. So this short one here, this little half here, is congruent to this little half here. This says find KL, this long piece here. What we have to do first is realize what these two little pieces are, because remember that these are all 90-degree angles. So what we're going to do is work one triangle right here, and then work another triangle here. Remember that these are right triangles. And then add these two sides together to figure out what KL is. So in this triangle here, in our green one, we have 17 here, and then this whole thing is 30. Since the whole thing is 30, this is 15 and this is 15. So this bottom half here is 15. So we have 15 squared plus b squared equals 17 squared. Move the 15 squared over. B squared is equal to 17 squared minus 15 squared. Take the square root of both sides. And b is actually equal to the square root of 17 squared minus 15 squared is 8. So b is 8. So this little piece here is 8. And then we have our red one. This is still 15, because that's what this little piece is. And then our diagonal is 39. So 15 squared plus b squared equals 39 squared. Subtract 15 squared from both sides. B squared is equal to 39 squared minus 15 squared. Take the square root. And b is 39 squared minus 15 squared. B is 36. So this is 36. So all of it together, 8 plus 36, is really 44 centimeters. In Kite PQRS, the measure of angle PQR, so this whole angle here, is 78. The measure of TRS, so this angle here, is 59. Find the measure of QPS. Find this one here. So if you look, we have this triangle here. And this little angle here is half of 78, so let me redraw this triangle. Of course, this is a 90-degree angle because all the middles are 90 degrees. This angle here will be half of 78, which is really 39. So this angle here will be 180 minus 39 minus 90, or 90 minus 39. Which makes it 51. So this one is 51 degrees, which makes this one here 51 degrees. And then don't forget, this entire angle is congruent to this entire angle. So 51 plus 59, 51 is this angle here, 59 is this angle here. Add them together and that gives you 110 for the whole angle. In kite E, F, G, H, find F, G, E, H, and the perimeter of the kite. So find F, G, this one right here, E, H, and then the perimeter of the kite. So for G, we have that this is 9, and since this is split in 2, this is 12, and this is a right angle, so it is a triangle that is 9 and 12, so we do Pythagorean theorem. 9 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. Take the square root of both, and c is 15. So that means that this is 15, and since this side is 15, so is this side. Now let's deal with our red side. This is 12, this is 16, and it is a right triangle. So we have 12 squared plus 16 squared equals c squared. Take the square root of both, and c is the square root of 12 squared plus 16 squared is 20. So that means that this is 20, and since this side is 20, this side is 20. So that's that. That's that. And then the perimeter is 20 plus 20 plus 15 plus 15, which is really 70. And that's the end of these notes for the day. If you want to get started on your homework, it is pages 44 through 45.